FanDuel Casino. Hello everyone, and welcome to another day of NGS action. Today we have Mommy's Little Gamers versus Fino or Ñofi. Now, Mommy's Little Gamers is the #1 seed of the Heroic League, so they are a team to beat. And it's going to be a hard game for Fino and Ñofi. They are the 4th seed, don't get me wrong. Fino and Ñofi is a fantastic team. We've seen them play before, and they've absolutely killed it time and time again. And throughout this season, going through their head-to-head, it is 4-1 in terms of maps for Mommy's Little Gamers. They've had a 1 domination and another time where they went 2-1 versus Fino and Ñofi. So Fino and Ñofi has been able to take maps off of Mommy's Little Gamers in the past, and maybe they'll be able to bring it out today in this best of 5. Now the map bans have already come through. Mommy's Little Gamers decided for map pick. First pick will be going over to Fino and Ñofi. And Brax's Holdout and Alterac Pass were the bans for MLG. And Garden of Terror and Cursed Hollow were the bans for Fino and Ñofi. Just getting rid of all those bigger maps. And then the first map is going to be that Infernal Shrines. So it's going to be very interesting to watch both of these two teams play. These are all teams that I've watched and casted before, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again. MLG has played really well this entire season. I believe I've casted them 1 time, and their game was one of my more enjoyable casts. It's very rare to see a team that's this clean in their play. But at the same time, I've casted 2 games for Fino and Ñofi, and every single game I watch them play, they're improving at such a rapid pace. And it's been a few weeks since I've last casted them, so at this point they very well could be on that exact same level, if not even above MLG. We're just going to have to see how the games do play out. Now the lobby is made. We have everyone in, just waiting on 1 or 2 people to be ready, and we should be getting right into the action. But it is going to be interesting to see how far the game can go. There are still many maps left to choose that have not been picked or banned away yet. And one of them is a map that I have yet to cast a game on this season, which is Sky Temple. So my personal bias is going to be hoping towards that as we head into draft for game number 1. Alright, so we are into draft now. And the first ban is going to be going over to Fino. And I'm wondering what they're going to prioritize for this map. It is Infernal Shrines. It is also one of the larger maps. Not quite as big as Cursed Hollow or Garden of Terror, but very large nonetheless. So Dahaka, Falstad, those are the first few things on my mind whenever I look at this. And then at the same time, I've watched both of these teams play. And there's going to be... I do believe Maiev is going to be picked at least once this series. I think Maiev is just a very strong hero. Very good in the right hands as well. But it is going to be that Vala first ban. I'm just trying to get rid of the DPSs to begin with. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do prioritize on the side of Fino. I do... before, when I watched their games, when Drinko was healer, I was saying that there would be a pretty big emphasis on picking up the Lucio. And Lucio might still be very good here, so I do want to see Lucio picked up or banned away potentially. We're just going to have to wait and see. As the Sergeant Hammer is going to be the ban coming out from MLG. In the right hands, and especially if you build a draft around it, it is one of those draft breakers where if you do not consider Sergeant Hammer and it gets picked in the second to last or the final phase, it's so difficult to change your draft in order to fit it. So they don't want to deal with that headache. They just decide to ban it out, and that's how they're going to be playing for today. And the final 2 bans have now come out. Stukov coming out from MLG and the Sylvanas from Fino. But that does leave the Hogger open, and Hogger is a little bit weaker after the patch a couple weeks ago. But this is still easily the best map to be Hogger on. Being able to bounce along the walls when fighting over the shrines, trying to kill those little skeletons. Hog Wild is just a very strong ability. As we see Blaze and Diablo going to be locked in for Valimar and Mason Blaze. So the front line is already set for MLG. And that's all they're going to be able to pick during this first phase. So kind of showing early how they could potentially play. But I do favor holding back the DPSs, at least one of them, until last few picks. A lot of the playmakers are on that DPS role. What I am worried about is Garrosh is available, and it is much harder to play Diablo into Garrosh. But it does seem like Fino is going to prioritize Brightwing and Hanzo instead. Brightwing, another one of those global heroes, especially on Infernal Shrines. We know how important that is. And Hanzo is just overall such a strong hero. The percent max health nerf on the talent is pretty big. I believe it's 1.6% per scatter arrow instead of the 2%. But when you're into Blaze and Diablo, I think you are still definitely going to pick that talent. The percent health damage is way too value into those two frontline beasts. Now, Joanna is going to get nerfed by MLG, so once again, leaving the Garrosh up. Maybe I'm just overvaluing it here, but it is an interesting move for me. But like I always say, these players are all better than me. I'm not very good at this game, especially compared to everyone that is playing here. So I will definitely trust them on that. Now we do see the Tychus and Lucio coming out, and I do really like that Tychus pick. Tychus is very strong, period. Very good at sieging, especially once you get the Commander Odin. But at the same time, it's also one of those percent health burners. So into the Blaze, into the Diablo, it's going to be able to accomplish a lot. It's not going to deal quite as much to Hogger. And we do see Murden and Tassadar. Tassadar, once again, I'm starting to see him picked up every single game. That shock ray just does 1 billion damage, and it's so hard to play into. If you're able to land those skill shots, you do so much damage. And I've seen the Tassadar be #1 in the damage charts for many a game now. And then also Murden gonna be the main tank. And last pick, and this is what I always like in the last pick, you kind of build up that X factor. And their X factor is going to be that Junkrat. Junkrat is a very strong hero, able to accomplish a lot for the team. I think it's the team comp isn't quite set up to play around the traps, but you don't necessarily have to play around the snap traps for Junkrat in order to be effective. The concussive mines are always strong. The long range poke, the burst from both of the ultimates. So we're just going to have to see which of these two teams is going to be able to take it in game #1. Alright, and as we load into game #1, I'm kind of looking through these drafts more, and I noticed one thing that's going to be a little bit hard for MLG. They don't really have a consistent way of getting onto the backline. So Hanzo and Tassadar have incredible range, and while Murden isn't the best in terms of engage, like obviously Murden can jump in, deal a lot of damage, and really slow down teams. And kind of be like in the middle of the fight. It's not Garrosh, it's not Diablo. You're not going to be able to just chain someone forever with like the Shadow Charge into the Overpower, sometimes into the second Shadow Charge if you go that talent, though I've not seen that picked in a very long time. And then into the Apocalypse, etc, etc. Murden has a stun, maybe a slow as well. Once level 20 Rewind is hit, we'll have a second stun, but it's still going to be a skill shot. It's not quite as consistent as a lot of those other tanks are able to do. But we will have to see, because I think that their backline, if they're not super far behind and they're able to siege up and just poke away, it'll be a very good position for Fino. Now both sides are just going to meet up in the middle, kind of poking away at each other. Not too much has been done in terms of DPS. And we do see a Vienna Quaker already running over to that top side. And I am curious to see who's going to make the first play. And Shadow Charge already goes on to Don't KS me. Look at that burst! Phase Shift is not going to be able to come out in time. So, in terms of who's going to make that first play, it's Mommy's Little Gamers with the first blood. Starting off the game very hot. And it is an early one as we see a solo kill on the top side. Valimar 1v1s Avina Quaker and still has full HP. I'm kind of curious how that happened. But yeah, that is going to be a 2-0 in favor of Mommy's Little Gamers just to start off this game. And they're going to go straight into their siege camps as well. They're not going to be pushing their lead quite yet in terms of trying to invade, because while they do have the level advantage, they don't actually have any kind of lead besides map pressure and map priority. But they are pinging over onto the siege camp, and Fox Darkness is going to get caught out by Mason Blaze. Will jump over the wall. And now Mason Blaze is taking a lot of damage from Fox Darkness, but they're kind of split up. The jet propulsion is going to land. They're going to shove him into the wall. But in the meanwhile, the main fight's going on. Indigo Zap going to get taken down. And they're going to continue it up. Zeratul also going to go. And Avina Quaker does come in with a Hog Wild, but it's too little too late. Already 4 kills to nothing. Got a decent stun into the wall, but 4-0. Stolen siege camp. Already a level and a half advantage for MLG. They're level 4. Fino has not yet hit level 3, and this is looking like a little bit of shellacking to start. And I guess that's really the main pressure that MLG's always been able to do in every single one of their games. They're able to play at such a high intensity and such a high pace. And a lot of the teams just aren't able to adapt to it. They're not ready for it, especially this early into the game. Now the siege camp is getting a lot of damage over in the bot lane. We even saw in the mid lane. Already took down most of that bottom cannon tower. So just a huge value out of all of their wins. They're able to secure all of the neutral camps and steal away one of the 2 siege camps. Which only leaves 1 neutral camp for Fino and Ñofi. And it doesn't seem like MLG are going to be able to defend or going to be able to invade into that. So that will be something they will be able to pick up. As the first shrine is activating, and MLG's pacing is insane here. For the first shrine, they very well could be level 7, and I think they are going to aim to have that talent tier advantage before they go in. The Stormhammer does go slightly off to the side for Don't KS Me, bro. And as they do walk in, gotta get the Shadow Charge into the wall, but it is the Muradin. Not a lot of follow-up. Just kind of trying to buy time so they can kill up more of these skeletons. Level 7 is right on the horizon for MLG. And I am interested to see if they do. They pull the trigger as soon as level 7's hit. Avina Quaker is taken down very low, but will be able to use the Hog Wild to get away. But that, even though they did manage to get the kill, the phase shift is going to be utilized for the heal, but actually even that's going to get cancelled. So Avina Quaker is going to reset. Shadow Charge lands on a Don't KS Me, bro. And you're on the wrong side of the team, and you're going to go down. 5-0 now for MLG as they secure this Punisher. And they're also going to get the top lane push throughout all of that. So huge credit to MLG right now. They are playing this really well, very cleanly, and at such a ridiculous pace too. Now they're shoving down this bot lane. Mortar Punisher going to be able to do a lot of damage. The wall is definitely going down, but how much more can they get? It is still it's still the early game. This Punisher isn't quite as strong, not quite as tanky. But the leap is going to happen, and they're going to get the overpower and the stun, and just like that, they're going to be able to get yet another kill. Kelsier and Roger got taken down quite low by the fort, but they have more than enough pressure, more than enough healing to just be able to punish this down. And now they're going to get the Shadow Charge onto the Brightwing Zeratul. No level 10, not going to be able to blink away. And I don't really know how much else I can say this as a caster, but MLG is performing incredibly well. Look at this. They've already started pushing onto the keep wall in the bot lane. It's 4.5 minutes. Level 10 is about to get hit, and it's a full level 2 lead now. Before, it was about a level and a half, and they're going to continue pressing. They have their level 10s as level 8 just comes out for Fino. And honestly, I'd be surprised if they let them get any kind of neutral again. And Avina Quaker is going to get Shadow Charge back into the wall. Riptire going over the top. Not going to be enough damage to secure any kills. Fox Darkness going to get taken down to 100 HP. Oh, that is so close. Kelsier almost managed to get it with a Commander Odin over top. And they're just going to siege down this fort and just start wailing away at it. Commander Odin has so much range. And it's really interesting because, oh, and they're going to get the Shadow Charge on Avina Quaker immediately. And the timing on that stun from Mason Blaze was ridiculous. Like, I did not even see the frame where the Hog Wild ended. And Mason Blaze managed to stun during that. That is an insane display of skill. Now, Valimar also was able to take down the top lane for to very low HP. Mason Blaze, they're all just kind of trading hits onto the tower. Because when you have that Lucio, the healing is AoE. So just by trading the DPS, by trading who's going to be tanking that turret shot, they're able to get more value out of that healing. And get more value out of this siege. As the top fort is going to go down. So that's 2-0 in forts. And now the siege camps are back up. So MLG is just going to go back and take those. Now I'm trying to think of ways where Fino can stem the bleeding, can like come back into this game. And the only thing I can think of is this level 10 time that's going to be coming up. They might be able to get a little bit of a pick. Valimar taking low. Weary Day gonna be able to bail him out. And now they're going to be able to get the Shadow Charge on the Fox Darkness. Jumps over the wall. The Concussive Mine not going to be in the correct spot. Oh, but Fox Darkness still going to get taken out super low. The level 10s are coming out. They're on even talent tiers. Weary Day did get hit for a lot. And now they're going to get the overpower. And Avita Quaker just stunned. And look at that. The Lightning Breath is going out over the top. Zeratul is going to go down. Avita Quaker will follow shortly after. And the bunker able to keep them alive. Kelsier and Weary Day. As look at the jet propulsion. Lands on a 3. And the overpower to Fox Darkness. Okay, ask me, bro. Has the Avatar popped, and Indigo Zap also at 300 HP. And I was going to say that's their timing. When they hit that level 10, that's going to be one of the few times they're going to have an even talent here where they could still fight for the objective and prevent the snowball. But that was another 4-0. It is 11-0 in terms of kills. MLG is just playing out of their mind today. And the mid gate, or the bottom gate, has already been taken down as well. So the siege camp that was doing the split pushing for them has gotten a lot of value. Now MLG is going to finish their Bruiser camp. They do have their level 13 talents up right now. The Bruiser camp is still available for Fino, but like I expected, they're going to invade this. I think if you're this far ahead as MLG, you do not let them get anything else ever again on any part of the map. You gotta pressure hard. You've got to get in their face and just don't give them any kind of way back. And even now, they are stronger. They can fight for this Bruiser camp, and they're going to go for it. 4v5. Fox Darkness able to jump away. And Shockray onto Mason Blaze and the Black Hole as well. This is their fighting chance where it is 4v5. The Shockwave does land as well, but they just don't have enough damage right now. Hog Wild is coming out over the top, but Shockray on a Kelsier, but Weary Day able to keep everyone up. And it is a talent disadvantage for MLG, but it is, or for Fino, but it is also a 4v5. So Fino, that was a solid chance for them, and they were able to pressure them away from the Bruiser camp. They weren't able to take it themselves, but at the very least, they were able to prevent their Bruiser camp from getting stolen. At least not immediately. With this Arcane Punisher, I'd be very surprised if MLG does not take this, either on the way in or on the way out, as they've already taken down both the cannon towers, so they can just walk up, start hitting the gates. Or sorry, one of the cannon towers is still up. The top one. But yeah, it's going to go down very quickly. And the Arcane Punisher is there. They're going to be able to get the Shadow Charge onto Fox Darkness. Phase Shift not going to come out in time. And that's going to be yet another pickoff for them. 14-12. Almost a 3-level advantage now coming out from MLG. And they're going to go for the keep. And less than 10 minutes in, they're already taken one of the keeps away from Fino. And the leap is going to come through, but it is during the Hog Wild, so the Punisher will not be able to land that. And it does seem like they're even pressuring a little bit over onto the core. It's very early for it, but I think they realize that the core is still quite strong. But they will be able to get the Bruiser camp on their way out and continue growing this already massive lead that they have. Huge wave over on the bot side as well, so Avina Quaker will be able to pick up a little bit of XP back for Fino. And they're not even going to really have a moment where they're even on talents. They're gonna hit level 13 very soon, but MLG might hit 16 at pretty much the exact same time. 13 should be collected over on this wave, and there we go. Level 13 now hit by Fino, and immediately after, level 16 is now for MLG. So their next even talent here, if this pacing doesn't change, it's going to be 19-16 at levels. And that's assuming they're not able to continue accelerating. As we see, MLG will continue to accelerate. They do have Oh, Avina Quaker does go into the middle, and they're able to get a huge Dragon Arrow. Avina Quaker still alive, trying to deal damage over in the backline. Zeratul trying to keep them all alive, and the Riptire is going to go through the backline. Don't Cast Me Bro still damaging on Roger, but Mason Blaze in the backline. Lightning Breath on his Zeratul, on it too. They're going to get another 2-for-0 in favor of MLG. Commander Odin now going to be utilized, and again, Valimar just taking camps. That was a 4v5. And they're just so far ahead where, like, 1 or 2 levels typically doesn't make a difference if they're on even talents. But even right now, when they're not on even talents, and MLG just has all those extra stats, 4 levels worth of stats is a lot. And at this point, even without the talent tier advantage, it'd be very difficult for Fino to fight back. Level 14 now hit, so it is back to a 3-level advantage. But if they keep winning those fights, I could see them hitting level 20 at the same time as Fino hitting level 16. And they've already gone in that top keep. They're sieging onto this mid one. They no longer have the Commander Odin. It will be back up in 50 seconds, so shouldn't be able to use it for this push. But the cannon towers, or the cannon minions coming out from the top side, are really starting to pressure into this base. And I'm going to zoom out so we can really see that they're being attacked on all fronts. They're starting to rotate a little bit over to the bot side, kind of make it more difficult for them to deal with this. And now they're all just going to run in and start doing a little bit of chip damage over to this bot side keep. I don't think they intend to win it, but Don't Cast Me Bro is going to get Shadow Charge back into the team. We'll use the Dwarf Toss to get away, but that's around half HP taken down. And Mason Blaze is getting done a decent amount of damage. Lightning Breath comes out. Indigo Zap will get taken down. And they're all so low, but not able to get any of those finished shots. And now Avina Quaker is going to go down to the backline, trying to run away, will get taken down, so that's another 2-for-0 for MLG. Overpower just going to be utilized to clear the wave. And Fino, they are able to get the MLG members low, but they're not able to get them to 0. And that's what makes this game so hard for them. MLG has been utilizing the bunker, utilizing all of their health pools to 100%. They were given a full health bar, and they're going to utilize the full health bar. That's what MLG is saying this game. As Roger is going to start collecting these skeletons, and frankly, I think they could try and end with this Punisher. They already have a lot of damage done over to this mid lane keep, about 50% HP. That one just a little bit of poke. Fino does hit level 16 now, so it is going to be an even talent tier, but like I was saying, even without the talent tier, 3 whole levels is a lot. And in fact, MLG, they're going to try utilizing their XP and just map pressure overall. They're not finishing off the skeletons yet. They're going to go for that level 20. They're going to collect this Bruiser Camp and just collect as much XP as possible. They are looking to end with this Punisher. This is going to be a very important defense coming out from Fino. And they're just looking at the camps and just... It's so hard for them to decide what to do right now. And honestly, I don't blame them. MLG just has so much priority on this map. Now they're going to be taking down their own siege camp. Hogwild is coming through over to the side, and we'll start hitting on a few. The shockwave does land, but perfect high five from Weird Day. The stun not going to come through. Black hole utilized as well, so that's a few ultimates already being used. The Frozen Punisher has been spawned, and now they do have the stun leading on to Don't Cast Me Bro, and the Lightning Breath over the top, but Zeratul will be able to keep them alive. Indigo Zap is going to get healed by the face shift, but now they're going to have the Riptire, and boom, on to 3. But in the meanwhile, Don't Cast Me Bro is going to get overpowered and shadow charged into the wall. Avatar pop, but will survive just a little bit with the blink heal, but Valimar is on the side. And Jet Propulsion lands only on 1, but that one will go down. And Avina Quaker going down on the back line. And Indigo Zap still alive. How much longer till the stun? And they're going to get the teleport. Level 20s are not coming through. And the stun lands on 2. Indigo Zap is also going to get chased down. Same with Zeratul. And that's a 5-for-0. Level 20 to level 16. They're all in the bunker, just throwing out the oil spills. They will take map number 1, and this is a perfect game coming out from MLG. No death, no towers. What an absolute show of domination. I mean, I don't think there's that much to say about this game. I think MLG just dominated it. I don't think there's too much point kind of going through all that, but once they got that early lead, they were able to keep snowballing it. The pacing at which they play is absolutely insane. MLG played out of their mind. Weary Day able to have perfect high fives the whole time. Valimar, excellent. Flanks, Base and Blaze always knew how, when, and where to engage. All I can say is I hope Fino and Ñofi, they don't lose their mental. I know they can come back from this. I've seen them play before. I know how good they can be. And that's what I'm going to be looking for as we head to a short break before game number 2. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back into map number 2 between Fino and Ñofi and Mommy's Little Gamers. You may have noticed the teams have decided to swap sides. Fino and Ñofi gonna be on the blue side now, onto that left side. And we are gonna be going on to Battlefield of Eternity. So a very different map, but also one of those maps where it's very easy to just absolutely hold on to a lead. If you're able to get a snowball going, you can definitely maintain it on this map. But on the reverse end of it, because it is that small a map, because the Immortals are so powerful, if you are behind and you are able to get that one teamfight victory, you can even out the game very easily. And that's what we're going to be seeing, hopefully, this time around. Love me some good back and forth between the two teams. Now, the bans have already started. We have Vala banned out for Fino and Ñofi, and we have the Artanas banned away from Mommy's Little Gamers. Stukov as well going to be banned away from MLG. And I'm assuming they also don't like dealing with the Lurking Arm. It is able to interrupt a lot of combos. With very good placement, that Lurking Arm can absolutely disrupt team fights, pickoffs, anything. The one weakness Stukov does have, and why it's not completely pick or ban, is it is the one healer that does not have a cleanse in the game. And now Diablo is going to get banned away by Fino. They do not want to let Mason Blaze play that one more time, as Hanzo is still going to get locked in for a weary day. So last time that was played on the side of Fino, so this time Hanzo is going to be that priority pick. And now it was first pick coming out from MLG, and I haven't mentioned it yet, but the map pick is going to be for Fino for this time around. They were the ones that picked Battlefield of Eternity. And the Thrall and Lucio going to get locked in for the first phase. And I'm curious if they're going to maintain that green theme. It is a little bit hard in HOTS, not as many characters, a little bit more difficult to only have green heroes, but very possible. But I do think Thrall, especially on this map, is very good. Thrall's main weakness as an offlaner right now is that he's not really able to double soak, not able to have incredibly fast wave clear. But on BOE, there's only 2 lanes. You only need to worry about the 1 lane. And what matters more is your team fighting and your ability to trade in lane. Thrall is good at both of those things. And for that same reason is why the Artanis got banned away from MLG. But Artanis is also very good at racing onto those immortals, so kind of to be expected. Now Blaze and Brightwing, we're also locked in by MLG, so Brightwing gonna be swapping sides. Blaze, we saw Valimar play last game, was an absolute beast on it. No question about why it's being picked again. Joanna gonna get banned away by Fino. And we're gonna see the ban that's gonna be coming out from MLG now. Neither side has picked their tank yet. We do have Diablo and Joanna out of the pool, and I'm wondering if they're gonna try and ban away anything else. Murden is still available. I don't think it's worth a ban. And they will get rid of Chromie instead. Now, there's still a few heroes that are good at racing, and neither side really has anyone that's good at taking down those immortals. Greymane is still available. Li Ming, I don't know if Li Ming gets picked a lot in Heroic, but is very good at that specific niche. Or potentially both sides aren't going to decide they don't want to race, they just want a team fight. And I have seen that happen before, and frankly, those are some of the more fun games to cast. As we see the Rexar get locked in, Indigo pick Cassia, standard DPS now, but the Rexar is going to be very interesting because that's going to be a double bruiser now, and very possible Avina Quaker's also going to go yet another bruiser. They could 10th pick the tank, but I have a feeling it might be a triple bruiser composition because this lets them fight at all points in the game. And every single member on that team is going to be capable of fighting. As we do see the Li Ming will get locked in for Roger. And Mason Blaze going to lock in that Garrosh. So very strong set of tanks. Once again, very solid frontline from MLG. Blaze and Garrosh. Honestly, Blaze in general just makes it very difficult to play. One of the more solid offlaners. Very tanky. Very capable of frontlining. And at the same time, very good at split pushing. So not surprising to see Valimar pick it twice. So we do see the final pick, and it is going to be the tank, the Anubarak. And Anubarak is a very strong counter to Li Ming, because with Li Ming, all you really need to do is prevent any of those skill shots hitting onto the Immortal. And by throwing out those Scarabs, it's hard to land the Arcane Orb or the Magic Missile onto multiple members. I don't think I favor any team comp this time around, so once again, it's just going to come down to who's able to play it better. And let's find out if Fino and Ñofi can even this game out as we head into game number 2. Alright, and we are loading into map number 2 in just a little bit. It is going to be a very interesting game coming up here. As both sides spawn, we have good old Misha coming out on the bottom left with Don't KS Me Bro. Lane assignments should be pretty standard this time around. It's going to be Valimar in the off lane versus Don't KS Me Bro's Rexar. And the rest is just going to be those 4 stacks over to the bot lane. And I want to see if MLG is going to be able to get that same snowballing start they did last game. First Blood was at 40 seconds as they had that mid lane handshake, so to speak. But it is going to be an interesting move. Mason Blaze already kind of cutting through this mid lane. Gonna try and reach this bot lane from up above. And that's all you really need onto Garrosh. If you're able to get a flank where they're kind of stuck into it, as Roger takes a decent amount of damage. And out of curiosity, it is the Thunderstroke build coming out from Indigo Zap. Going to be stacking up those Lightning Furies. Not going to be the auto attack build. It's not as common. Usually only see it into very tanky lineups. And with Mason Blaze on this Garrosh, just not quite as necessary. As Toru able to deal so much damage in this forest stack. But still, the Li Ming able to outpoke on the side. Kelsier is able to keep the team pretty healthy. And now the Siege Camp is going to be spawning over to this bot side. And they are playing a lot more passively on Fino. They're not giving away any of the pressure, but they are not just walking forward. Mason Blaze has shown what they're able to do. And just like that, onto Avina Quaker. Look at the Polymorph as well. And the Impale onto Mason Blaze. So a lot of damage over onto Avina Quaker, just as I was talking about how much better they've gotten with that. But we'll be okay. It is that Anubrak has the Unstoppable with that Burrow charge. And Avina Quaker, barely gets missed, but Fox Darkness will get hit by the Arcane Orb. And the Scatter Shot just dealing so much damage. Weary Day just landing hit after hit. And now what I am curious about is how's this top lane going? Valimar also got the solo kill onto Don't KS Me Bro, but seems pretty even up there, both sides. I typically don't expect too many kills happening in the offlane. Every now and then I'll look at the health bars, but the Siege Camp is still available, and it does look like Fino wants to go for it, but it will be very difficult. Weary Day and Roger will be able to deal so much poke from behind that wall. And now, the Groundbreaker able to get on a 3, and the Impale gonna land back onto Mason Blaze and Kelsier, but no much more than that. The ground Earth Shatter is gonna get hit, and look at the damage. Avina Quaker starting to get pretty low, but no more poke is going to get hit. Fox Darkness will heal Avina Quaker back up. Avina Quaker will reset and just hearth back. Now it is that 2:30 mark, so Bruiser Camp is going to get started by MLG. Immortals do spawn for the first set at 3 minutes, and this is an important timer for both teams. You kind of want to be able to get set up immediately. And Mason Blaze is going to start soloing this Siege Camp. And I don't think either side's really expecting this. Avina Quaker is here to kind of catch the wave, but it's just going to be Weary Day and Mason Blaze taking the Siege Camp. Will get spotted out now. Avina Quaker does see them and could potentially try to fight this, but it is the Brightwing. Will be able to jump in immediately, but they are still going to fight. They're going to be able to get the Impale on a Mason Blaze, but the Siege Camp still gets finished off with the Wrecking Ball able to move away Avina Quaker off of the point. So that is going to be a little bit of an advantage, but so far Fino has definitely managed to keep the game closer. They did lose out on the one neutral objective, but that's really the only place where they have lost out so far. And now Mason Blaze is trying to make a move, and Mason Blaze is trying to get very low. He uses the Unstoppable, but they're able to get another set with the Impale, and first blood is going to go over to Fino. Ñofi. First kill of the series for them, and it's a really big one. And it's going to be very big for morale as well, because as someone who has played competitive before, and they're able to get the Impale over to Kelsier as well. And Kelsier King now solo, just one more hit, and will be able to get the last hit. Indigo Zap with the Lightning Furies, already at 23 stacks, by the way. However, Weary Day has been hitting onto this Immortal the entire time with Roger, already at the halfway point. So it is 2 kills in favor of Fino, but the overall objective is still favoring MLG. But now they're going to start fighting onto this other side, but the spawn was in a very bad spot. They're trying to zone away, but the issue with their team comp is they need big teamfight wins, and especially in the early game, it is so much harder to maintain that, just because, well, the respawn timers are really short. You can win 1 or 2 fights, but you're not going to be able to continuously keep them away. As Don't KS Me Bro gets knocked into the backline, Mason Blaze is starting to tank a lot of stuff as well. Forces out the Unstoppable as well, but the first Immortal will go over to MLG. And it's going to be a very high shield Immortal as well. But Roger on the wrong side. Burrow Charge is going to land. Same with the Impale. They're going to be able to finish it off. Phase Shift not going to come out in time. And that's really going to help them with this defense. And Fino and Ñofi, like I was saying, this is what they're capable of. They can fight against MLG. They've proven it before, and they're going to prove it again in this game. Now they are hitting over onto this Immortal. Mason Blaze trying to keep them away. They're able to continuously keep him rooted and stunned up. So Not going to be able to pressure too much more. The Earth Shatters are consistently knocking up at least 2 to 3 members every single time. Mason Blaze with very good angles. As the Wrecking Ball does land over onto the Anubrak, and Vina Quaker gets taken out so low, forced to burrow charge defensively. But this Immortal will go down. Not going to be able to finish off the fort, at least not with the Immortal. It's still taking it down to half HP. The first Immortal, if you take the wall, you're happy. So getting this much damage onto the fort as well is massive for them. And Valimar has just been pushing out this bot side the entire time. It is a 4v5 here. And now the siege camp does get started by Fino and Ñofi. They may look to fight here. And that might be what they're baiting. Roger just used teleport, but does not get spotted out. And also on this, since the entire team's on the siege camp, can't really follow it up anyway. But they will steal that siege camp. And it looks like they don't want to soak on the off lanes either. They just want to continue pressing to the top side. But Avina Quaker is going to get taken down to the back side, but does have the burrow charge to get away. And the Arcane Orb dealing so much damage to Avina Quaker. Mason Blaze starting to get poked out a decent amount as well. Lightning Furies coming from above. 33 stacks already on the Thunderstroke. Mason Blaze is poked down to half HP, but that's where you want to be as that Garrosh. And now the offlaners have swapped sides. Valimar is going to finish off the spot side siege camp. But the group of 4, they look like they want to finish off this top side fort. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but they're going to be able to get the Wrecking Ball. And look at the damage! And that's going to be a first kill for MLG this game. Avina Quaker not having enough HP to deal with that. The amount of DPS coming out from Weary Day and Roger is just insane. And both of them are those burst heroes, really. They're both poke and burst heroes. Weary Day does deal mostly physical damage, but those auto attacks, while slow, pack a huge punch coming out of the Hanzo. So if you're able to land every single ability, especially if you angle that scatter shot correctly, you can dish out a ton of damage from that Hanzo. Now the Immortals have spawned, and for Fino and Ñofi, this is actually a very good spawn for them. They kind of want it to be on their side because it gives them more of a area to fight in. It forces MLG to have to fight where they have a longer escape if they do need to back away from a fight. But the bunker has been utilized in the bot side. Is still very healthy, so it's going to be difficult. Valimar does come through. And the Unstoppable utilized onto the Cocoon. Very well timed by Mason Blaze. So that's going to be a pretty big ultimate not available for Fino in this next fight. It is going to be 60 seconds as we see Kelsier going to finish off that top fort. Uses the Blink Heal to run away. And we'll just be able to get out in time. But they are going to be able to land the knockups and the roots. Look, so much damage onto Mason Blaze. We'll be able to survive. But look at the Disintegrate landing over top the teleport. Able to get the first kill. And now can they get the reset? Story going to get taken down as well. VH Roger just making as much plays as possible. And that's going to be a 2-for-0 in the fight. And that should be the team fight going over to MLG. The 4-man Dragon Arrow landing from Weary Day. And the phase shift coming out. Perfect timing to keep Mason Blaze alive. And the top fort still went down as well. Their bottom fort is taking a lot of damage from the wave. And now they're also going to lose onto this Immortal. I'm going to get finished off very quickly. Roger is a bit low on mana. May need to reset. We will have to see. There are going to be those 2 health orbs. But now Valimar is going to get stunned up, taken down. They do have the Valkyrie lands over top as well. Valimar still taken out very low. They're pinging but not able to jump onto the backside quite yet. Just needs one more stun. If they're able to get any other kind of follow-up, they're going to get the root, but the phase shift is coming out for Mason Blaze as well. Mason Blaze is pretty tanky, but will go down. So they're at least able to get one back for themselves for Fino. They're not going to be able to get anything else, but they will force them to have to go back and heal up, reset. The positioning is definitely in favor of Fino. They will lose their bot fort, but should be able to prevent the rest of this. However, MLG, they don't seem like they're interested in letting them defend. Valimar already looking for a play, already looking for an angle. Impale is going to land on Valimar, and the Sunder lands on it too, and they're able to get so many stuns as well. And now Roger will use that teleport to get away, but now Valimar taking a lot of damage over on the front line. Now the Arcane Arrow lands on an Indigo Zap, so there's not going to be any kind of follow-up. But very well played, very well dodged away, and they're able to back out before anyone goes down. And even without the main tank there, they're just able to kite backwards so well and just peel away for whoever gets jumped upon. And now, just as the Immortal goes down, immediately after, the Siege Camp is going to get finished off by MLG. And MLG is definitely still in the lead, don't get me wrong, but Fino and Ñofi are looking a lot better this game as they're setting up a Death Brush. But Avina Quake are not going to be able to land onto anyone. They do have a couple roots and a couple of poke shots coming out from Indigo Zap. Indigo Zap now at 50 stacks, 19 stacks for the Thrall, for Toru. Now Valimar is going to be backing away from the top side as well. And they're just consistently able to push out on both sides of the map. Fino and Ñofi, they are looking for plays, and they have been able to get a couple decent ones. They're ahead in kills, 43. But MLG, once again, proving that if they can get the lead, they're going to be able to hold on to it, and they're going to be able to utilize it. I don't think there is any other team that I've watched that is able to maintain their leads as well as they have. Now, they do have the Siege Camp. They do have that Cannon Tower. It is only an 11-minute Cannon Tower, so we'll be able to deal a lot of damage, but won't be able to absolutely destroy this keep. But once again, 11 minutes. They're already looking for it. Valimar able to get the jet propulsion. And the Cocoon does land this time properly. And Roger is going to get backed up. And the Sunder will cancel the Valkyrie. And they will be able to get into the bunker. The bunker deals so much damage on everyone. And now they are dodging into the backside. Valimar is still trying to take down this Lucio. Will be able to survive. But Valimar is kind of in a very bad spot. And they're able to get the Burrow Charge on it too. Valimar is going to get saved. Mason Blaze with the Wrecking Ball gonna keep Valimar alive. And how are they doing this? Rite able to dodge away from the dogs. And the blind will land, but no follow-up. How do you kite like that? I'm in disbelief. Valimar zoning away the Lucio, takes away the DPS so that they can protect the Lucio, and then is still able to get out when Bunker wasn't used. When Bunker wasn't up for that part of the fight. Just the positioning and the play coming out from MLG has been very clean and pristine, and I don't even know what it would take to beat this team. They are on their Bruiser Camp, and it isn't even talent here right now. Roger just used the teleport, is going to get stunned up, but Mason Blaze is able to use the Wrecking Ball to get them away. Gonna take a lot of poke for it, but a lot of poke also coming back from Weary Day over the top of this. And now the Dragon Arrow does land, but only onto Misha, and Misha will run away. The bear will live for now, and is looking for the stun. Not going to be able to land it. Wrecking Ball has been utilized. Valimar, jet propulsion on it too. Will get high five. Avina Quaker does land the Impale on a Valimar, but no one to follow up on it. As the fight has split in two, but for MLG, they have a massive wave in this top side. If this is moving slowly, it is in their benefit. So the fight does need to begin. Jet propulsion lands on a few, and they're able to get the jet propulsion onto so many. And once again, the Sunder and the Valkyrie kind of keeping each other away. And now Indigo Zap is going to be able to get the blind. Is on the backside though, and Indigo Zap, you have nowhere to go. Does get defended a little bit. Fox Darkness, and they're able to get the Impale on it too. Weary Day is going to get taken out quite low as well. And Indigo Zap still somehow alive, and Fox Darkness able to keep them alive. So the same escape. Disintegrate not going to land. Very well dodged away. And now Toru is on the wrong side. Jet propulsion lands. And everyone is so low on both these teams. The high five not going to be enough. And now Indigo Zap will finally go down. Mason Blaze able to get that final auto attack that was needed. And Roger out of mana. Everyone got taken down to such low HP. But they will be able to secure themselves this Immortal. They have the level 16 advantage. So they do have the extra talent here to push with. But Kelsier and Roger both do need a reset for that mana and that health. Now they're going to be able to push top with the Immortal. Bot wall gone. Top wall barely standing. Just has the one little cannon tower. The Immortal should be able to take it down in about 1 or 2 hits. So I don't expect it will be standing for too long. And I think they could definitely go for the keep. And if they're able to get a good team fight off of this as well, they could even go to end the game. It is 15 minutes now. They're looking for this fight. They're able to get the stun over onto Mason Blaze. The Dragon Arrow is going to come through, but not going to land on anyone. Phase Shift already utilized just for the heal. They're going to get Misha into the backline and just going to blow up Misha. So no bear for 19 seconds. And Toru taken down so low from all the poke. Now the Valkyrie is going to be utilized. Only lands onto Mason Blaze, who goes unstoppable. Will be okay. Sunder utilized just to prevent the fight from continuing further. The Immortal is still very healthy, already onto the core. And they're definitely going to be able to get some damage onto it. Level 16 now hit by Fino, so they are in even talent tiers. Now Misha, once again, in the backline, will get immediately blown up. Mason Blaze does get into the cocoon, but will get freed immediately. And now they're able to get the dogs onto the backside. Half HP on the core, and they're able to get the push onto Don't Cast Me, bro. And Don't Cast Me, bro, will go down immediately. The bunker is being utilized. Davina Quaker taking so much damage. They disintegrate over the backline, and Davina Quaker will go down. Weary Day taken down so low. And the phase shift does come out from Kelsier. So it is a 3v5. They don't have a wave, though. But Indigo Zap gets thrown into the backline and polymorphed and disintegrated and will go down. And I think this might be it. I think MLG will be able to win game number 2 as well. Just needs a little bit more damage. It is still a little bit difficult. They still don't have quite everything they need, but they have the final pressure. They'll get the final hit. And game number 2 goes to Mommy's Little Gamers. And game number 2, while closer, the victory still goes over to Fino and Ñofi. Or sorry, to Mommy's Little Gamers. They did an excellent job of winning this game. They had a solid lead for a little bit on the side of Fino. They looked a lot better compared to game number 1. And they put up a real fight. And this is what I want to see them do in game number 3. I still don't think they're out of it. They've adjusted their pacing very quickly, and they've adjusted it very well. Battlefield of Eternity is a very difficult map to play, especially if you take the fighting team comp, like Fino did. And as we can see, their fights were good. Toru, number 1 on the DPS chart. I'm liking this style. I'm liking where they're moving. I think the only thing that really hurt them was that Toru and Indigo Zap not on the same page with some of their ultimates. The Valkyrie pulling them in and the Sunder pushing them away. But they're still not out. It is that best of 5. We're going to have a map number 3. We're going to go to a short little break, but when we come back, we're going to have game number 3 between Fino and Ñofi and Mommy's Little Gamers. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone and welcome back to game number 3 between Fino, Ñofi, and Mommy's Little Gamers. I just noticed they swapped sides yet again, so give me one moment. There we go. The technology is endless here. And while we're in draft for game number 3, I would like to quickly say thank you to Nexus Gaming Series for allowing me to cast this game. If you've enjoyed the cast so far, be sure to head over to twitch.tv/Tokibi. I'm planning on doing a lot of replay casts as soon as the season ends, starting as early as this week, probably on Monday. So if you want to watch any replays cast, if you've been enjoying this cast, head on over and leave a follow. Much appreciated. Anyway, self-promotion done. Let us get into this next draft. We do have the Vala once again banned away by Fino, and Stitch is going to be banned out from MLG. Now we are on Tomb of the Spider Queen, so another smaller map, but also a very snowbally map. And I'd argue Tomb of the Spider Queen, I think it's the second most snowbally map, maybe behind Brax's Holdout. But it is definitely one of those maps where if you're able to get a double push with the double web weavers, it is so hard to play into it. Junkrat is going to get banned away from Fino, and Joanna going to get banned away from MLG, so they're just removing all the tanks. Very different draft from them this time around. Stukov, however, has been left available in the pool for the first time. And I'm wondering if Fino is going to go for it, but no, they decided to go for the Diablo immediately. Now I'm wondering what the response is going to be. I would be shocked if they didn't go for the Blaze again. The Blaze has done them wonders if they want to get that 3-0. Though, because they do have a 2-0, they could try to experiment a little bit more if they wanted, but I think in the playoffs, they still respect Fino. They're not going to do that. They will take the Blaze. They will take the Lucio, so one of the main healers has been taken away, and it has been Lucio versus Brightwing in every single game so far. But again, this time around, there is no ban onto the Stukov, if that is something that Fino and Ñofi do want to go for. There is also the question of who they want to play into the offlane. I think Leoric could be very good this game, but they are going to lock in the Tychus, and they will take the Stukov after all. And I think they had to take the Stukov here, because if they didn't lock it in here, it would get banned away before, as the third ban coming out from MLG. So I think it's definitely a good call. Now, I'm not sure who MLG would want to ban away here. Tychus has already been locked in. They will get rid of the Leoric. I think they saw the same angle I did. Leoric and Diablo combinations are very strong. And I think Fino could look into banning Garrosh this time around. Because I maintain Garrosh is very good into Diablo. And Mason Blaze we saw is a very good Garrosh. So just by putting them further back onto a tank that maybe is less of a playmaker could be pretty big for Fino. But they do decide to ban away that Chromie yet again. Just don't want to deal with that Poke Mage. Don't want to deal with someone who's able to... It's not just a Poke Mage, it's also a Control Mage. Whether they go with the Revert or whether they go into the Slowing Sands, it is going to be very difficult to play into that Chromie. So now we are going to be looking for these next two picks, and they're going to go with the Sergeant Hammer. Roger bringing out the big guns this game. And Mason Blaze will take that Garrosh. So, oh, that's a very interesting pick. Now, it wasn't picked final phase, and I'm wondering if that might have even been a deny pick, because you rarely see Sergeant Hammer pick this early. There are still options available to play into it. And it does kind of explain their first phase Stitches ban, because Sergeant Hammer is very bad into Stitches. Now Hanzo is still available if they want to pick that up for themselves, but they're going to go Imperia Zagara. So very different composition coming out from Fino for game number 3. And they haven't played a single one of these heroes yet today, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what kind of style they're going to be able to bring out today in this third game. Now, final pick is going to be the Mephisto. Mephisto also able to dodge away on those drafts. So, I'm just trying to think of ways. Honestly, just draft-wise, I think I do favor MLG this game. Map number 1 and 2, I think the drafts were more or less even, but I don't see how they can answer onto Sergeant Hammer. They have the Stukov to throw the science field with the lurking arm, but other than that, I don't think they have too much else. But we're gonna have to see as we head into game number 3. Oops, sorry about that. Just finishing answering someone in chat. We are still loading into this third and potentially final game if MLG are going to be able to finish this one off. And frankly, I think it's going to be so hard to deal with this Sergeant Hammer. Zagra is able to deal a lot of long-range poke, so maybe that's kind of their answer. Fight push and poke with push and poke. But at the same time, I feel like MLG will win if that ends up being the case. They're going to be able to block out this... they're going to be able to block out all of the harass that comes out from Toru. Because with the Banelings, with all of that, it comes from forward rather than just like whoever they right click on. It's a skill shot, not an auto attack, you know? But anyway, both these teams are going to be moving into this mid lane. Avina Quaker is trying to move forward. But both brushes are going to be won by MLG. They're going to have brush control, at least on the top side, bot side. Neither side's really confident to walk in yet. And now the first few things are starting to come through. And I'm always curious. It is going to be the Lightning Nova, the Furious Spark coming out from Mephisto. You do see the Skull talents coming out sometimes, not always. As the Celestial Charge does land on Valimar just for some poke. But they're going to be able to get the knockback, and DokeSB Bro starting to take so much damage. The Oil Slick doing so much, and they're just going to slowly but surely be able to get first blood for themselves. The Oil Slick and the body blocking coming now to so much power. As WH Roger just going to be clearing out these walls. And in the meanwhile, they're zoning away. Vina Quaker and Toru, they can't even pick up the XP orbs. And already a half-level advantage coming out from MLG, and fighting kind of happening on all sides. Trying to zoom out so we can catch most of it. Avina Quaker is going to be able to get the stun. But now they have the jet propulsion landing onto Avina Quaker. And it's at a very bad spot. But Indigo Zap, they are all grouping together. Avina Quaker, do you have another stun? No, not yet. So the play's not going to end up going anywhere. However, they are already able to get themselves that little bit of a lead on the side of MLG. And it's going to be hard because, again, this is a very snowballing map. And they're already at a half-level lead at only a minute and a half just from that one kill and then the zoning. Avina Quaker going to get thrown backwards. And they're going to lose that entire topside worth of XP again. Because Mason Blaze is not going to let Avina Quaker get there. They're just not going to let them get back mounted. And they will end up losing a decent bit of that. They will be able to collect the gems. So they're not too far behind in terms of the gems yet. However, 12 have already been turned in for MLG. And now a decent stun landing from Mason Blaze. As the Bruiser camp actually does get finished off by MLG as well. So even more XP going through. But they did lose that siege camp over in the middle. But the jet propulsion lands on it too. And they're able to get the knockback on a door. And the twin stream able to deal so much damage. But Roger is going to get taken down. Indigo Zap able to deal so much damage. And Avina Quaker able to have that follow-up stun that was needed to take down the Sergeant Hammer. And I was doubtful of it at first, but the Zagra really does seem like the answer to the Sergeant Hammer. They're able to deal so much damage to the Sergeant Hammer, not able to heal it back away because Lucio's not a burst healer. Lucio is a very good healer, but not very good at that burst. Maybe once level 10 comes down and the high 5 comes through, could start looking into that as well. But alternatively, it is going to be pretty difficult as Mason Blaze able to get the Wrecking Ball Earth Shatter comp. I believe it's Earth Shatter, right? Groundbreaker, close enough. I just use the thesaurus when I use ability names. But anyway, Toru going to be finishing off that Bruiser camp. Almost a full level lead now, but I think once Toru finishes off this camp, there is no reply for it. As Avina Quaker is looking for a fight here. Little bit of poke coming down from both these two sides, but Fox Darkness will be able to turn in some gems. Only 9, but that's still 9 gems that they permanently have for themselves. And there's a bit of a fight happening in the bot side as DokeSB Bro will get finished off. And once again, this group of 3 has been doing a lot. And it's really rare where you see the main group of 3, not including the tank, but including the offlaner. And Valimar was able to get a decent amount of plays now. If it was anything like their first blood, just the oil slick and the body blocking coming out from Weary Day and Valimar is being used to such good effect. And Toru gets knocked into the backside. They're going to be able to get another soul and push back. Toru just taking so much DPS and will go down. So that's going to be yet another kill coming over to MLG. Avina Quaker is trying to keep them away, but Weary Day just able to deal too much. Now Don't KS is going to get knocked into the backside as well. Roger will be able to finish that off. And now Indigo Zap dashing through. No follow-up stuns, but once again, MLG is starting to get away with this game as the ground break Earth Shatter does land onto Indigo. Taken down around half HP. Mason Blaze is underneath both the towers, but it's not enough DPS coming out for them right now. And the healing coming out from Weary Day is just being used to such good effect. And look at the lightning nova damage onto Indigo. The Skull Missile as well, just dealing so much DPS. And now Toru is going over through the top side. And that's the damage that you can see that is able to come through. But the Lightning Nova over on the backside is dealing so much damage. And they're able to get a Vina Quaker into the middle of the team. Fox Darkness and Indigo Zap taken down in the backside. Valimar will also get thrown into a Vina Quaker. And that's going to be a 2-for-0 in favor of MLG. And as they start their siege into this mid lane. And will even be able to cancel Fox Darkness's reset. And now they have the Web Weavers coming down as well. It's a level and a half lead for MLG already. And this is starting to get a little bit reminiscent of game number 1. As they are clearing out all of those tumors in the ground. And they should be able to finish off this mid lane fort on this first objective. Just able to get so much out of their leads. Their heroics are available right now. Vina Quaker needs to be careful. That fort is not going to last for too much longer. Mason Blaze will throw Vina Quaker into the backside. And the Lightning Nova just doing so much damage. The taunt lands as well. And the Durance of Hate lands into the backside as well. And Indigo Zap will follow. And that's going to be a 2-for-0 again for MLG. The souls have been utilized. So Diablo is back. Vina Quaker is here for the defense. However, the HP bar is not the same as it once was. Now they're going to start playing over onto this bot side. Don't KS me, bro. It doesn't want to deal with this. Just leaves. Valimar a little bit slow to notice, but forcing the offlaner to reset when they have the fort is just really showing how dominant of a lead they've been able to build up already. Over a 2-level lead at 6.5 minutes. That's crazy. And Roger just dealing so much damage in the backline. Avina Quaker was looking for the play. Will get interrupted by Roger. And now the siege camp gonna get taken down by Roger and Kelsier. And that's one of the other advantages of picking that Sergeant Hammer. Clearing out the siege camp is so easy. The amount of DPS coming out is very good. And with a faster clear, it doesn't seem like much, but it does help raise the pace. The faster you clear it, the faster it respawns. And if you maintain control of the camp, that's a lot of fast XP going over your way. As they start the siege over onto this bot fort. And Roger just hitting on whatever's closest. Avina Quaker is close right now. Already slowly taking down to half HP. Now it goes out taking damage as well. But they're going to get the stun and the overpower onto Roger. But Roger will just zip backwards. Don't KS me, bro. Looking for the play. Doesn't see any target. Celestial Spear is still available, but no good target to go on. But Avina Quaker almost able to get the overpower. But now they're going to be able to get the Celestial Spear onto Roger. But the overpower is going to land onto Valimar into the lurking arm. But Valimar's tanky will have the bunker. And now Avina Quaker's the one that's getting thrown into the backside. They're going to utilize the Commander Odin just to help push them away, poke them backwards. And that was an ultimate I have not seen in a very long time. The Blunt Force gun. Picked up by Roger. That's the first time I've ever seen that ability name. But they are able to get the stun. And they're getting the lightning breath and the damage onto Roger. But Roger will be able to dash away. Weary Day does have that cleanse with a high five. Now they're able to get so much damage with the lightning nova on Indigo Zap. And Avina Quaker will get thrown back into the team. And not a lot left. As they do land the Maw on it too. And that's going to be a potential big play for them. They're so low. And they are going to be able to get Roger down. Kelsier very low as well. Just a couple more autos and we'll be able to finish it off. 2-for-0 for Fino and Ñofi as they're starting to bring this back just a little bit. And they have more than enough gems for turn-in and they're going to rush straight there. Toru has 14. We'll need someone else to turn in as well. Fox Darkness is going to start the channel as well. And that's going to let them have those Web Weavers spawning. They may be able to bring this game back to a more even state. They lost 2 of their forts and it's so hard to play 2 forts down on this map. The fact that they managed to get the web weaver spawned at all is already really big for them. And all because of their ability to teamfight. As they're going to continue, they're on to Valimar right now. Don't Cast Me Bro was waiting in the bush, but wasn't able to follow up with the Celestial Spear. And out of curiosity, it is the Angelic Armaments. It's not going to be the Curse of the NGS, so they're not going to be able to have any kind of big follow-up after Avina Quakers. And now the Web Weavers are now onto those walls. And the bot lane one is the one that's going to be taking the most damage. And it could be very big for them to get this bot lane, as they're able to get the overpower and the stun over onto Weary Day. That Shadow Charge will kind of keep the Lucio away. Has to reset to heal back up. Commander Odin is now up for command for Indigo Zap. They're able to deal a little bit of poke damage over onto this fort, but should be able to clear it away before it goes down. Now they're able to get an extra stun, and they will throw them back, and the taunt by Mason Blaze. And now Valimar is in the backside, but Avina Quaker just stuck under the fort. The bunker comes out in time, and so that's just going to be another pickoff for MLG. And they're able to defend it as for Rogers shoving out this top side. And now they're maybe looking for another kill. Durance of Hate just goes slightly off to the side as we turn back, but they are able to get the Celestial Spear onto Kelsier. Kelsier taken down very low. Weary Day has to use the high five to get away. And Valimar is starting on this boss camp. And this is what I'm curious about. Can they do this as 2? Is Valimar and Roger enough for this? They do see that the boss is currently being hit. So it looks like Fino and Ñofi, they are just going to try and take down this bot side fort instead. But they should be aware that this is currently happening. Avina Quaker is already running up. Sees Valimar. Gonna get the charge. And no follow-up. Valimar will get taken down very low. But they're able to get the Celestial Spear onto Roger. No follow-up available. Avina Quaker's abilities are still on cooldown from stunning up Valimar. And that could have been a very good opportunity for them. Level 16 is on the horizon for MLG. Once they hit that, they're going to have that talent advantage again. And Avina Quaker is going to get hit by the Durance of Hate. But how much follow-up do they have? The swipes are coming through from Fox Darkness. It is Avina Quaker is taunted. And just infinite stuns. And there's just nothing they can do. And that's the weakness of the Stukov coming through. Without the cleanse, it makes it so much easier to layer that CC. And even the max HP Diablo at 98 souls really doesn't get much healthier than that. You can still burst them down before the lockdown ends. And now Roger is going to be pushing out this top side. They're already taken down most of the wall. Roger will finish it off. And it goes down, taking a lot of damage from that Lightning Nova. Will get healed up by Fox Darkness, but Roger just able to walk in and just keep poking away. And now this topside keep is also going to get hit. Avina Quaker gonna get hit by those Lightning Novas. Do they have any kind of follow-ups? No. It is going to be difficult because it is level 16 to level 14. They're able to get a lot of damage, and the Durance of Hate lands once again. But they're going to have that shield. Don't Chaos Bro is trying to get away, and look at that ultimate coming through. Not going to be able to finish off anyone, Roger. But Fox Darkness is low, gets taunted, and will go down. But the Maw onto 3. Do they have any follow-up? Don't Chaos Bro looking for the stun, and they're able to land it on the floor. Roger taking out so low, Lightning Breath over top. Indigo 1 HP as well, but that's a fight in favor of Fino and Ñofi. They're able to get 2. Don't Chaos Bro still fighting, but Kelsier with that extra push from the Lightning Nova will even it out, and in fact, it's going to be a 3-for-2 in favor of MLG. But that was a 5-man Celestial Charge. I have never seen anything like that before, but MLG, with that extra talent and with that extra player, we're just barely able to eke away that victory. And now Valimar just dancing for the fans off in that top side. Will bike away. Cool as ice. But level 16s have now been hit by Fino and Ñofi, so even talent here could be a play for them as they are able to land a decent amount of poke onto Mason Blaze. Valimar also in the mid lane, but with this little wall in the way, it is a little bit annoying to deal with, so Kelsier still trying to kite this boss back and forth. I'm not sure what's going on up here, if anything, but the Lightning Nova just slowly but surely kiting away. Do they even have... I don't even know if Kelsier has enough mana for this. I'm trying not to get distracted by this, but I find watching that a little bit too enthralling. Like, I don't even want to look at this. The fight may break out, and I'm just curious how this is going. Oh, half HP now on the boss. Kelsier may be able to sneak this away. But Fino and Ñofi going to try turning in. Don't Kiss Bro. Not going to be able to get in time, but the cleanse does come through from Mason Blade. Is Mephisto actually going to do this? Like, it's 7,000 HP. There's a fight happening here. I don't care about the fight anymore. I need to know this. Galazir, what are you doing? Oh, and they're able to defend the turn in 2, but the Celestial Charge lands onto 2, and this could be their moment. The high 5 has been utilized. They're able to zone them away a little bit. And now they're able to get the stun and the taunt, and Avina Quaker is taking so much damage, not going to be able to get the overpower. Mason Blaze able to use the Unstoppable for it. Are you serious with this? Like, I'm... What is going on? Galazir, no one person should have this much power. Mephisto soloing the boss. And the boss does go down. As a shoutcaster, I have never been so lost for words. I don't even know what to say. Lightning Breath is coming through, so they are going to be able to get a lot of damage done. Mason Blaze taking out so low, is stuck behind the wall, will go down. And Weary Day is going to be able to dash away from the wall, but who cares? The boss has been soloed. The boss is here to take down this keep and will be able to finish it off. There's a team fight happening mid. And now Indigo Zap gonna dodge away from the jet propulsion, and Avina Quaker is gonna try to use that Shadow Charge to keep them away. Toru is coming through from the side as the keep did go down and still has half HP going on to the core. And they should be able to finish it off before it deals any lasting damage. The shield should be more than enough to deal with that, but again, that's not a play I think I've ever seen, much less in the playoffs of the NGS Heroic Division. I'm still in shock. But anyway, the fight is starting to come through. Avina Quaker onto Valimar. Valimar taking down quite low, using the jump propulsion and instantly into the bunker. Galazir taking down super low as well. The Lightning Nova not going to be enough. Tries to come through. Could get burst down, but not too much. Endurance of Hate going to go off to the side. And look at all the poke damage coming out. Galazir able to take down the boss and able to take down most of the roster of Fino and Ñofi. Really zoning them away with that push. And ultimately, even though they got the turn in on the side of Fino, they weren't able to get anything out of it. The Web Weaver wasn't even enough to defend the keep, wasn't enough to get the push out. And a big part of that was just because of how well the floor core of Mommy's Little Gamers, they were able to just keep zoning away that turn, and they were able to balance out not starting a full-on fight, because if a full-on fight started, they would lose 4v5 even talent here. And they were just able to sneak it away. And now they're going to start sieging over onto this mid lane. No boss, nothing, but they do have their level 20s, and they do have their bruiser camp. And most importantly, they have a dream. Now Commander Odin is going to get popped by Indigo Zap. Gonna be utilized to try and help clear out this entire wave. And now Avina Quaker taking so much damage. Galazir dealing so much. But look at that. They do have the Unstoppable. Forced to use a high 5. Lots of cleanses and Unstoppables coming out from MLGs. Between the cleanse coming out from Mason Blaze and the cleanse coming out from Weary Day, they're able to get such... It's so hard to lock down Mason Blaze. They do have the damage, but they're just not able to keep Mason Blaze in an area where they can keep dealing that damage. Avina Quaker maybe looking for an angle, and will use the Shadow Charge, pulling Mason Blaze back, and will get rooted up in time. And look at that, the Lightning Nova is going out over top. The bunker is already down. Valimar starting to get pretty low. Kelsier is going to move back into the middle of the team, but the Lightning Nova able to get 2. And look at that, dude. The amount of healing of Avina Quaker is also going to go down. Fox Darkness slowly getting hit over by Roger. And what a team fight. What mechanical prowess coming out from MLG. Now they are looking to finish off this last keep. And just needs 1 or 2 more hits. And there it is. All 3 keeps are now down. They're not going to be able to end the game here. Level 20s are going to be hit over by Fino and Ñofi for this next defense. But they are at a very huge advantage. And in fact, they're going to spawn the Web Weavers. And I have to give them credit. They're not getting cocky. They're being respectful. They're going to turn in and try and push with the Web Weavers instead of just trying for that Hail Mary. They could have tried to end it there. But this is the smarter play. This is the safer play. Level 20s are definitely going to get hit by Fino anyway. And they know they don't need to rush. Their map pressure right now is so high that they can play it slow. Now this could very well be the final fight for Fino and Ñofi If they lose this game, they are going to be out for the rest of the season. Now, Vienna Quaker and Indigo. What kind of play can they make? We have seen the 5-man Celestial Charge, but even with that, MLG were still able to win that fight. Even Talonteers now, though, as the first White Weaver is going to get cleared out. And look at that. Just instantly going to utilize the 5 bunker maneuver. However, was slightly out of range, so they're not going to be able to get those jet streams onto the actual camp. Durance of Hate also goes off to the side. Kelsier, it does take a lot of damage, and will get taken down a little bit. No, Kelsier is still dealing so much damage onto this backline. And look at the DPS still continuously using that Shades of Mephisto to get into this backline. And will take so much poke damage doing it, but is going to deal so much more that it doesn't even matter. They're still slowly pressing in. They still have the one more Web Weaver. And 3-way Celestial Charge lands on the 2, but the high fives come now from Weird Day onto everyone. Mason Blaze taking out Solo, but Solo's gonna go down. Weird Day just 80 HP, but will be okay. It doesn't even matter. Kelsier ends the game, and it's a 3-0 sweep for Mommy's Little Gamers. And just like that, MLG able to have a clean 3-0 sweep. And credit where credit's due, MLG is playing amazingly well right now. I wasn't expecting the stream to end this early, but that's the way she goes sometimes, you know? But huge congratulations to MLG, but Fino and Ñofi, I think everyone in the Heroic League knows MLG is the team to beat. It is very difficult to beat them. And Fino and Ñofi, especially in game number 2, they put up an amazing fight. They worked so hard and they played decently well. Just a couple little plays did not go their way. And yeah, MLG, congratulations. They are going to be going into the finals of the Heroic Division. Now that'll be the end of the stream for today. My name was Tokibi. I will be casting another live game tomorrow, I believe. No, not tomorrow. I'm not casting tomorrow at all. I lied. I'm casting next on Monday. No, on Sunday. Sunday's going to be the next game. November 3rd. Sorry. I'm literally checking my own calendar. I cast so often, I do forget. 7:15. That's going to be on my channel on twitch.tv/Tokibi. Be sure to leave a follow. And hopefully I'll see all of you on Sunday. Thank you very much. And good luck to Mommy's Little Gamers in the grand finals. Have a good night, everyone.